WMPR. This show is designated as your. Hey, everybody, how y'all doing? We got a good show lined up. I can't wait. We locked and cocked and ready to rock. It's been a heck of a day. Today's show gonna be dedicated to my daughter. Got my Air Force dad shirt on today. I'm proud of it. Jazz has been in there she's been in the Air Force for about 2.5 years now, so we super duper proud of her. And we're gonna be celebrating our good sister, Judge Latrice Westbrook, who's on deck. And as soon as Handyman bring us on the air, we're gonna be all the way live, y'all. It's gonna be a good day. Been a good day. Been a good day as I get myself together here. Yeah, been a good day and a week. Let's see what we got. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. We appreciate everybody every week for tuning in. We've had a wonderful week. I mean, when I say wonderful week, we have had a wonderful week. As we start every show, we always say, let's give some time and remembrance to those folks who are going through bereavement, because bereavement now is totally different than we've ever experienced. Totally different. So let's make sure that we remember those families who are going through bereavement and hospitalization. Can't forget them, because even the hospital process, normally somebody go to the hospital, everybody huddles up in the waiting room and waits and makes decisions and prays together. Now you got the sick ones in the hospital by themselves. You know, one hospital I went by, they can only have one visitor per day. So imagine if you got, wife, children, and so forth, only one person can come per day. So the rest of them are having to be distant, right? So, and I'm not just talking about coronavirus. I'm talking about, people still having heart attacks and strokes and car accidents and all kinds of stuff. So this is a everybody issue that we're gonna have to continue to be loop ourselves around and really care about each other. So times are rough, but together, just like anything we've ever dealt with in our history, we've dealt with them together. So keep doing that. This show is being sponsored by Michael Jordan Transportation. We appreciate Brother Michael, because he is a good brother with good business over there. You can go to www.mjstransportation1.com for your transportation needs, and look a little part-time income. They're growing so much. That's why we keep asking for people to go apply, because every week he gets more business. He needs more drivers, and it's because of you. Every week. He buying more buses, leasing more buses, and all kinds of stuff. Because, some folks just want some personal transportation because, they want something they can trust and depend on. And Michael Jordan Transportation always does a great job. And everybody, we just thank you. We're going to start our show off like we do every week with a word. We're going to do Sister. Let me pull this up. We're going to do Sister Jakes. We did T.D. Jakes last 2 weeks. We're going to do his daughter right quick. Let me pull this up here.
I'm not talking about people who are chasing fame or chasing a name. I want to talk to some people who are chasing purpose. I'm chasing after the identity that God has given me, and I'm trying to stand in this identity, but it's requiring more power than I have to give. I want you to know that opposition is doing you a favor, because as the Apostle Paul said, it's trying to show you where you're weak so that you can see where his Christ's love can be shown strong down on the inside of you. His strength is made perfect in our weakness. And none of us want to be weak, but opposition reveals where we are weak so that we can grow and become better and become stronger. And I just want you to know that you've been praying opposition away. And I feel like God wants you to start praying that opposition would come closer so that you can show me how to duck, so you can show me how to block, so you can show me how to stand up to this thing. Opposition is trying to show me how to communicate. Opposition is trying to show me how to love. Opposition is trying to show me how to step into that ministry. Opposition is trying to show me how to host a virtual experience. I was praying that the opposition would go away, and God was praying that I would wake up one day and realize that I am greater than the opposition, because I am not standing in the opposition on my own. I am standing with the opposition that comes with being connected to what God is doing in the earth. And there's always going to be opposition over what God is doing in the earth. So if opposition scares you, then purpose ain't for you. But if opposition makes you level up, this is the message for you. You may be feeling like you got a power deficit, but I want you to know that greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. That means whatever the opposition is, it's going to have to see you. Whatever the opposition is, I'm going to pray until I become bigger than the opposition. I'm going to fast until I become greater than the opposition. I may have to go through some stretching to do it. I may have to be isolated to do it, but I won't let the opposition scare me out of my purpose.
There it is. Don't let the opposition scare you out your purpose. And we got our good Judge Latrice Westbrook's on the line today. How you doing, sister?
I'm doing well, DeKeither. How are you? I'm sorry, Representative DeKeither Stamps. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you for taking time out. You know, when I was looking at what we were going to lead into your segment with, that word came across. I looked at it and I said, you know what? Let me just play this right here because you are epitomizing not letting opposition scare you out your purpose. Talk to us and tell us what you got going on.
You know, that was a powerful word, and I thank you for playing that for me. I was like, you know what? I could have listened to that months ago. But I'm running for the Mississippi Supreme Court. Currently, I sit on the Mississippi Court of Appeals, which is the second highest court in the state, and I'm running for the state's highest court. And I'm running because I'm qualified to sit in that seat and to do the job on behalf of Mississippians. And so I'm asking everyone to come out on November 3rd. If you haven't absentee voted by then, please come out and vote for me, Latrice Westbrooks, to be your next Supreme Court justice.
All right, so you're no stranger to the show. But for those who may not know at this point, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and why you're the most qualified person for this position.
Well, thank you for that. Well, first of all, let me just give people a little bit of my personal history. I grew up in Memphis. My mother is a single parent, raised me as a single parent with the help of my grandparents, my grandmother and grandfather, who, you know, for a long time when I was a young child, I thought they were mom and daddy. And so not only were they granddad and grandmama, they were really mom and daddy. And my grandmother just turned 96 on Sunday, and she's still mama. So, you know, I'm really grateful and blessed to have her here with me, with us. And so I went through public school in Memphis, graduated from there and went to Austin Peay State University. A lot of people call it Pay, but no, it's not Pay, it's P. Austin Peay State University in Clarksville, Tennessee, not far from Fort Campbell, Kentucky. After that, I went to law school in Detroit. Very cold in Detroit, but I went to law school there. And after that, I moved to Mississippi full time. Now, my family is from Mississippi. As a matter of fact, you talk about bereavement. I want to give some love to my cousins, Ernestine Westbrooks Hawkins, who just lost her husband, Stanford Hawkins, about a week ago. And my cousins, Micheal, Lisa, and Rod and Vita, who all, and their children, who all have to, you know, bury their loved one, our loved one, this Saturday. So I want to give some love to them and others who have gone through bereavement. I'm a daughter, granddaughter, sister, cousin, godmother, and friend, and niece. And so I come from, my mother had 10 sisters and brothers, so she never had to worry about having a babysitter. And because she's the fourth oldest child, and she had me when she was 22, that means that there were 6 other kids younger than her. So they didn't treat me like the niece, they treated me like the baby sister. Right. And so, you know, they'll call me every once in a while. Let me tell you what your big sister did. No, she's not my big sister. She's my aunt. So, but, you know, when you come from a huge family like that, you know what that's like. And so that's a bit of my personal history. My professional background, I went to, after I graduated from law school, as I said, I moved to the Gulf Coast. I prosecuted. And then I went into private practice and handled civil matters, and also became a public defender in the Delta. And I handled, by and large, DeKeither, a lot of criminal defense matters. And you and I met when you ran for city council years ago. And I worked under the administration of the former mayor, Chokwe Lumumba, before his transition, and I worked for him as the legal counsel for JPD. And after that, I left and went back into private practice and became a municipal judge for the city of Lexington for 2 years prior to becoming a Court of Appeals judge. And so I have the practical experience as well as judicial experience, even before I came to the Court of Appeals. And now I've gained the appellate judicial experience that continues to make me qualified to sit as a Supreme Court justice.
So we're down to the wire. What have you learned about yourself on this journey to be the next Supreme Court justice for the Central District of Mississippi, or for Mississippi, but in the Central District?
I don't have to tell you, you know what campaigning is like, and this is COVID campaigning on top of that.
Right.
And so, you learn that you, like the word was, you stand in the face of opposition. And that can come in many forms. It can come in the form of an opponent. It can come in the form of a discouraging word. It can come in the form of, questions that you may have. And so, it comes in many forms, but you have to stand against that because, you have to stand in your purpose and you have to stand in courage. And so, I've learned that, something that I learned about myself a long time ago. My mother says that, I don't mind, getting out there and stepping out and being courageous at times. And so this was just one of those moments where, I had to, once again, step in courage, and I'm continuing to do that until November 3rd.
Well, as always, we appreciate you for having the courage to step out. Some people get comfortable as they ascend, but courage says, you know what? I can grow a little more. I got a little more potential. And what I found out in all of this process of campaigning and all this stuff is that I am never in competition with anybody else. Right. I'm only trying to birth the God-given potential I got in me. And when I focus on that, I don't worry about the rest.
Yeah. Just
keep pushing forward.
And you know what? The other thing is that I've learned, that I've seen, is that people, the power of the human spirit, is amazing. And so when people are not letting, this pandemic keep them from the polls, they're not letting it keep them from, encouraging other people to get out and vote. And so what we've had to do as human nature calls for us to do time and time again, we have to adjust. And so the pandemic has just called for us to adjust to campaigning in a different way, to making sure we get out the vote in a different way, and to make sure we exercise our vote in a different way, probably different than what we're used to or accustomed to doing in the past. But it just means that we have to adjust. And so again, one of the things something that I knew all along, but just reminded me that the power of the human spirit cannot be suppressed. And the power of the vote cannot be and will not be suppressed. And so again, I want to thank you for this opportunity for coming on this evening. I know you have other things that you want to get to. Right. And I want to encourage everyone, November 3rd, remember the name Latrice Westbrooks for the Mississippi Supreme Court Central District, Position 1.
Thank you very much. God bless, God speeds, and be safe on those highways and byways out there. I know how it is. You coming back, leaving early in the morning, coming back late at night, trying to get back, from wherever you are. Just be safe out there. Look out for those deers. Slow down and just take your time. Make sure you got somebody with you.
Yes, I do.
So be safe out there on that road, and we will keep you in our prayers, dear.
Thank you, DeKeither.
All right, dear. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the superstar judge, Latrice Westbrook. We appreciate her for always being there, always making sure that, our interests are heard. Today I was at a wonderful press conference, and we're going to talk about this for a little bit. I was at a press conference today where we announced a great initiative with Working Together Jackson. Now, Working Together Jackson is a wonderful organization. And we got a good sister here, Sister Willis. How you doing, ma'am? I think your mic is mute. Let me unmute you there.
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. When I say Working Together Jackson is a wonderful organization, when I first got elected, or running for office the first time, Working Together Jackson was kind of newly formed, and it was about 7-8 years ago. And a group of organizations that come together to try to build something to affect change, and they realize that working together works. And they made us sign this declaration of our activity as a candidate. And while they don't endorse political candidates, but they do allow for an organized mechanism to get things done in our community. We got Sister Savannah Willis on the line today to talk about Working Together Jackson, and to let folks know about a new initiative that we're trying to do to raise resources. So just tell us a little bit about Working Together Jackson and the initiative that's going forward.
Okay, well, thank you very much. My name is Savannah Willis. I am a leader with Working Together Jackson through the member organization, the International Museum of Muslim Cultures, which is my day job, where I just ran in from, which is a Muslim Cultures Museum downtown. And I started with Working Together Jackson through the museum. So Working Together Jackson brings together different organizations from all different backgrounds, as you just mentioned, different political parties, different religious backgrounds, different racial backgrounds, in order to organize people and power for different issues that affect all of us here in Jackson. So I got involved through the International Museum of Muslim Cultures, and I'm still very new to the organization, but I came right in seeing the impact that was happening around the water bill issue that was happening in Jackson when I first started with Working Together Jackson, and a lot around Jackson public schools. And so today we launched an initiative that was a fundraising campaign for assistance, gathering assistance for needy families here in Jackson, to help our scholars and to make sure that they have access, as well as their parents, them and their parents, that they have access to a warm line that we are launching. It actually launched today. And I really want to make sure I give you all that phone number before I get off, but the warm line launched today, and it is our Jackson Scholars Mental Health Warm Line, and that's a part of the initiative. Make sure parents and students have access to crisis assistance, as well as to get direction toward different services that they might need beyond that warm line, but also to make sure that parents and students get access to technical assistance, since everybody is really having a hard time with the virtual learning. And we want to make sure that also all families are connected. So one of the major initiatives that, sorry, my 1-year-old is in the background, that's life right now, but one of the major aspects of the initiative is the Cash for Connections campaign, which is going on between 3 of our local major radio stations, and it's going to raise funds and donations for us to be able to reach at least 5,000 students and make sure that they have access to internet, Wi-Fi connection, make sure they have school supplies, and make sure that they have any other assistance that they need. So that was the initiative that we launched this morning at the press conference.
So our research showed us that, we have upwards of 5,000 young people who are not connected to the degree that they should be. We got young folks that are trying to connect to internet through cell phones and have no connection. And sometimes they don't have they just don't have a service. And we got to get it to them. We cannot leave folks disconnected. And that's what's happening in the community, is folks are being disconnected. Or they're trying to learn and can't, or they don't have a laptop, don't have these things, or most families don't have 5 computers, but they may have 5 children, all in different grades. And so we have to work through these issues, but not leaving them behind. And that's why I appreciate Working Together Jackson for coming together and saying, you know what, we got resources. Let's make sure we partner with Jackson Public Schools and allow them to show us who's not connected. Because they know who's not connected, so that the resources actually get to the people who need it the most, not to the people who want an extra computer, but the people who need a computer, not the folks who already got perfect attendance on virtual learning with high-speed internet because they live in a certain area or parents can afford to provide this stuff. But that's why this is critical. And so we're asking for everybody. I put my money where my mouth was this morning. Internet, high-speed internet. What does it normally cost for a high enough speed for folks to purchase internet? I know I got the fastest one out there. I think my internet bill like almost $100 a month. But what is
okay, so yours is, you do have one of probably the more advanced packages, but they start anywhere from about $60 a month.
right?
So but that's a lower speed. So with a lot of the students, I know my daughter personally, and we're blessed to not be in need, but they have class on Zoom through Clever, and they use, different apps, and you need a higher speed to make sure that you can have the connection and the interaction. And you definitely hit the nail on the head about not having multiple devices, because the students do have to have their own device in their own, room, even if they are in the same grade level, as to cut down on distraction the same way you would be at your own desk. So Working Together Jackson definitely hit the ground running, solidifying the Safe Haven program that we are, a part of through our member organizations such as New Horizon International, the Jackson Medical Mall, and a few different locations that are providing safe spaces for students to be able to go and be able to learn, because of course the virtual issues as far as connectivity were compounded when parents then had to go back to work. So we definitely want to make sure our scholars had a safe environment in which to learn. So we started making sure that we could expand those safe haven sites. And then we wanted to make sure that we started working on the students who don't have access to those.
It's going to be critical that we work together on this issue, because let me put up Working Together Jackson's website here. Working Together Jackson is trying to raise resources to help these children get through the school year by getting the high-speed internet to their homes and getting the ones who need them. The school district already knows almost 5,000 students in Jackson Public Schools do not have a computer. But school's been going on for 2 months. So what do you think these children been doing? Picking up a packet, bringing it home, and having to virtually teach themselves. This is not 1750. It's not 1850. This is 2020. And, we're going to work through this issue. I know some folks said people should prioritize their resources and get their children what they need, but I don't want to worry about who hadn't done what. I just know it's children with no computer and no internet. I want to eliminate the excuse for these children to be left behind, because if we don't help them, we will fully fund a jail to put them in a few years. We will fully fund a prison to put them in a few years. We will fully fund police officers to go do that. But I would rather do the other end and help fully fund the resources that they need between getting a computer in their home or these safe haven locations. And if you want to become a safe haven location, you can go to Working Together Jackson's website and contact them to get that facility up and running. Safe places for our children to go throughout the daytime while they're doing this virtual learning. There's some safe places. We got folks who have rented out, who have opened up spaces and got abandoned houses, fixed them up like we did in South Jackson, and got computers everywhere and spaced them out with the internet there so children can learn. But no one's coming to save us but us. And Working Together Jackson is the vehicle, and JPS is the engine to plug in. So I'm asking folks to call in 601-948-5950 if you're going to pledge to donate. I started off today. Myself, Senator John Horn put in $500. Bishop Ronnie Crudup and New Horizon Church put in $10,000. Reverend Pickett and New Jerusalem Church put in $10,000. One of my favorite pastors, Pastor Jimmy Edwards over in Rosemont Church, Rosemont, put in $1,000. And we're going to work together, because if you do the math, 5,000 students times internet service plus computers necessary for these students is a lot of money. and it's important, and we cannot let these children get left behind. So the boy, I appreciate Sister Ruth Ann Reese says that the Boys and Girls Club has also done a great job through this journey. Together, we can make a difference. You're daggone right, and I love you for it, Sister Ridgely. So tell us a little bit about how people can contact you. I think your mic is muted.
I muted it. I'm just
Go ahead and say a little bit about how people can donate and route them through that process of participating in this initiative.
Yes, you can make donations through the Hope Credit Union. We have Cash for Connections account set up through the Hope Credit Union, so you can mail your donations to the Hope Credit Union, and the address for that is 4 Old River Place, Suite A, Jackson, Mississippi 39202. And we also have a PayPal, which is Cash for Connections. And then you can go to cashforconnections.org. And that should route you, starting now, that should route you directly to the PayPal. And yeah, those are the ways that you can make donations. And then you'll start hearing it on the radio within the next couple of days. It'll be on Hot 97, it'll be on WOAD, and it'll be on NBC.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important issue. And we're not asking just regular people. We want leaders. If you call yourself a leader in this community, you can't point to somebody you are helping, you may need to redefine yourself as a leader. You got to, as it's going to see, it can be personal. And that's what we focus on, is folks taking a personal vested interest in the future of our city, our community, and our children, so we can make sure we're on the right track going forward. So if folks want to join Working Together Jackson, beyond this initiative, what other activities are y'all participating in?
Currently, we are working with the circuit clerk, Zach Wallace, just to ensure that everybody has access to the polls. We've been really making sure that people are informed about absentee voting. We are strategizing to continue the Get Out the Vote effort. We are phone banking. Yeah, we have a lot of other initiatives going on, but right now the main focus is definitely safe haven and our children, and making sure they receive their education and get out the vote. Those are the two main initiatives right now.
And y'all done a lot over the years. I mean, a lot of work's been done. Like I said, one of my biggest shining successes since I've been in office is the work that's been done over in the Bottom Gardens, Rosemont Church, Lake Elementary School, and the work that Working Together Jackson and a host of other people have participated in. We just appreciate that working together spirit, and it has definitely changed some communities. We're not where we want to be, we're not where we used to be, and where we can show some examples of proven success. Talk about some of the other successes that Working Together Jackson's had over the years, if you had. Got a second? I know you got to go. You got to tend to your family. You got dinner time going on. So
you got to do it all at once now.
Yeah. And so before you go, just talk a little bit about some of the other things that Working Together Jackson has done that folks can participate in.
Definitely the water bill issue was what I came in on. So that's what I am most familiar with. There has been a lot of work done with JPS and Parents for Public Schools, making sure that other able people have access and to transportation and, building access, sidewalk access, and things of that nature. And those are the ones that I have at the moment, but there are a myriad of other issues. The issues are as diverse as the members. That's what I would say, definitely.
So go to the website. I'm going to pull the website up here. It's Working Together Jackson. And it shows you all the different things, how to join, how to contact them, some announcements, membership, and all those things are right there on the website. Go check it out, ladies and gentlemen, and give them a phone number that they can call if someone has questions or want to coordinate with you.
Definitely. If you want to contact me, you can contact me at 601-397-2734. You can also contact Siobhan Chapman, 601-460-0255.
Let me put that number up on the screen real quick. Say that number one more time.
Sure. My number, Savannah Willis, 601-397-2734. Also, Siobhan Chapman, 601-460-0255.
Now, we appreciate you taking time out of dinner time to come up for a second. But go ahead and feed that little baby.
Most definitely. Y'all have a great evening.
Take care, man. All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, that's Working Together Jackson. Got a great initiative going on, trying to get young people that we've identified. And we know them by name. We know who they are. We know where they live. And we know they're disconnected. Now, I don't want to get bogged down in the reasons why they disconnected. I want to get them plugged in so that they can have the same access to learning as the other children who are in the school system. And it's going to be critical that we leave nobody behind. You know, I know they had a federal thing years ago that said no child left behind, but we got 5,000 children that are being left behind right now. And we got to resolve that issue. We have to not leave. We cannot lose 5,000 children who were probably already in a vulnerable state and still in a vulnerable state. So definitely give them a call. Those phone numbers again are 601-397-2734, 601-397-2734. And you can go to Working Together Jackson website so that you can learn about those things. We got a message here about voting that we're going to bring up in just a second here. It's been a good week. You know, first off, since last week, they allowed us to be sworn in on Friday. We didn't do a big swearing in ceremony where you invite the whole town because of coronavirus restrictions. There was only a small group of folks there, small group of friends and family. But you know, I can't wait for this time to be over with, but we don't want to add or cause anybody any undue harm by trying to have different, you know, big events and things like that. But what you do, you have to do it safely. So make sure you govern yourselves accordingly so that we can, you know, so we can move through this. And we will get through this just like we've gotten through every other major issue in the history of America and this world. We've gotten through several things. We're going to take a station break just for a second. We're going to bring a message about voting from Mr. Colbert. Let me pull this up right quick. 1 second here. And we're going to make sure we get this right here.
Hello, Mississippi. I'm Stephen Colbert. Do you want to vote in the 2020 election? Of course you do. Everybody knows Mississippi is the smartest state in the nation. Well, I'm going to show you how, because it's time for part 26 of our 50-part series, Better Know About It. Tonight, the greatest state in the nation, Mississippi, the voting magnolias. What makes Mississippi the greatest? Well, did you know? In 1884, Phil Gilbert's Shoe Parlor in Vicksburg, Mississippi, became a true innovator by being the first store to sell shoes in pairs. That's right. Thanks to Mississippi, we no longer have to hop around in one giant shoe. Another fun fact, Mississippi is one of just 50 states that have been selected to vote in this year's presidential election. So here's how you can get started voting in Mississippi right now. We've made it easy by putting the resources you need on betterknowaballot.com. The link for Mississippi is below. Okay, first make sure you're registered to vote. You can use our link to get your registration form. The deadline is October 5th, so do it now. Mississippi does not consider COVID-19 risk a valid excuse for voting absentee for all voters, but you can use our link to see if you are in one of the 4 categories of voters who are entitled to vote absentee by mail in Mississippi. For example, if you're 65 or older. If you qualify to vote absentee, contact your circuit clerk to request a ballot today and use our link to find out more. Mississippi also allows you to cast an absentee ballot in person if you are in one of 8 categories. Use our link to contact your circuit clerk and find out more. And of course, Election Day is November 3rd. So wear a mask, wash your hands, go vote. So there you are, Mississippi. Know another smart Mississippian who wants to vote? Just send them this video and spread the word using the hashtag BetterKnowABallot. Get out there do your civic duty, and tell everybody MISSISIPP, I voted.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go vote. I am going to be working outside the county on election day, trying to get folks in the Mississippi Delta out to vote and work in some of those counties. So I went and voted the other day. Not a bad process at all, and pretty easy. Just stand in line. And when I say it was a good experience, because the line was spaced out, then the sister probably went through 2 cans of Lysol while I was there. Because every time somebody got up, they sprayed the seat down, make sure that nobody was going to transmit something in that space while they were there. So hats off to everybody in Zach Wallace's office. Hats off to Mr. Wallace for doing a great job on a daily, hourly, minute by minute basis to make sure that folks were safe, folks were taken care of, and that the experience they had there was just, seamless. So hats off to Brother Wallace for always being on the job, and his whole team in both the courthouse downtown Jackson and the one in Raymond. So hats off to all the good work that's been done there to make sure folks have a seamless process. And so again, everybody, make sure you go out and vote. But if you have a question or anything, make sure you give Zach Wallace a call. Give us office a call to work through every issue. Every issue I've called them on, they were right on it. They jumped on it and got on it. So we want to say thank you to everybody for that. We got a few minutes left to go on the show. Call in number 601-948-5950, 601-948-5950. If anybody want to call in and ask a question about anything, other updates, the special election for the Ward 2 City Council seat to fill the vacated seat of former Councilman Melvin Priester is November the 17th. The qualifying deadline is in a few days. I believe it's the 20th. I think it's next Tuesday. I might be wrong, but it's coming up. You have to get petitions. So you can't just go in and sign up. You have to get your petition filled out of actual registered voters who live and vote in Ward, or who vote in Ward 2. If you vote in Ward 2, you should live in Ward 2. So make sure you participate in that and go through that process if you want to. One thing I will say that kind of covers, our race and the Ward 2 race is what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody who's going to step into these council seats. The reason I'm going to address this is because people ask me, it was a basic question. I just thought, I didn't really hit me until I left. Someone was like, well, DeKeither, what should we be looking for a new council person? What are the qualities that we should be looking for? And I thought about it for a second. When I thought it was basic, it was actually pretty, because a lot of people that may not even know. So, hold on, caller, 1 second. So what I would say is you're looking for somebody who's going to step into these positions and embody it, who don't care who running, who don't care if I'm running, whoever's running. And it's just not for my Ward 2, Ward 4, it's for all these seats, mayor, council, all. You want somebody who wants to run for office and serve, that wants to serve so much, they don't care who in the race. I remember back when I ran in 2013 and 2012 when we started, and I didn't care who was in the race. I knew I was pissed off with the current situation of my community, and I didn't care who ran, who was in the race. I knew I was in the race. What that does is that puts people in a position where they go, when they finally get it, they go through the ups and downs. They don't want someone handed to them. You don't want somebody who wants something handed to them. You don't want any of those kind of people. You want people who want to earn it, who not saying, hey, if you support me, I'll run. No, you want people who going to run anyway. Whether anybody support them, they know they got the fire in their belly, and they got the determination to go knock on every door. And they may not knock on every door because of coronavirus, but at least you need to go to these folks' house and stick some on the doorknob and stand back and let them come out. Let these people show themselves. Choose a hard worker That's another quality you want in a council person, because it's not just about the council meeting. It's not about being in the news all the time. It's about up early and up late and really going through a process, folks. That's who you want. You don't want somebody just because, you know, somebody else told you to vote for them. You want somebody who's gonna work, because if they don't work to get there, when they get there, they ain't doing squat. I done seen it, not just here, in other places of council folks that I've worked with, and mayors and the different folks I've worked with over the short time I've been in office. Those folks who got handed them a bunch of money and they got it bestowed on them, when they get in office, they ain't do jack. But those folks with a scratch and claw to get in, they scratch and claw to stay in. And then when they're working, they always putting something on the table. They always proposing something. If they're not proposing, see, council people's job is basically two things: write legislation and approve the budget. That's it. Our job not to clean a lot. Our job not to fill a pothole, pave a street. Our job not to fix a water bill. Our job is not to do all that stuff. Now we, you know, champion for those things, but our job is legislation. We're the legislative branch of government to provide checks and balance to the administration. Now, I've said many a days, and y'all heard me on this radio show before, that we should change the form of government because the executive branch does everything. And so, you know, I've said it before, but you know, it didn't get traction before. But that's what I believe. You know, so but it also says if anything gets done, it gets done by the mayor's office. Council people can't take credit for getting anything done. Why? Because the law doesn't give us the ability to do anything other than write a law and pass a budget. So if your street got paved, thank the mayor. If your sewer got fixed, thank the mayor. If your water bill got corrected, thank the mayor. Because that's who's responsible. The executive branch of government is responsible for executing every facet of government based on our form of government. So if somebody's out there running for office and said, I'm gonna get this street paved and I'm gonna do this and do that and do this, well, tell them to go back to the law and learn what you can do and what you can't do, even though our emotions might be in a different place, even though our feelings might be somewhere. In this business, you can only do what the law allows you to do. But you do have a platform to shed light on issues. And that's one of the other major things that you can do. It's not in the law for you to do, but the platform of a council person here in Jackson especially allows you a platform where you can raise light to issues, you can raise light to things, and you can, you know, shine a light on some stuff and use your platform to bring light, because sometimes some things don't get addressed because people don't shed light on them. So so that's the law. Also, to all the folks in Ward 2, I know Councilman Priester didn't have someone in his office working. If there's an issue or something, y'all can give our office a call at 601-960-2052. I know my folks gonna go through the roof, but call me, call us, and we'll help stand in the gap during this time period. So if you're in Ward 2 and you got an issue, we'll stand in the gap for Councilman Priester, just like we've done before. When Councilman Tillman was sick and he was out for all those months, all of them calls went to our office. And same thing with Councilor Margaret Barry Simone. When she was out for that time period, and when she got better, she came back. We covered down on her side too. And we're gonna do the same thing for Ward 2 as we work through this process as well. So, you know, so continue to work through it and help us to move this thing forward. Brother Michael Jordan just called and said, Mississippi Move is partnering with some local transportation companies to provide rides to the polls. That's right, Mississippi Move. You need a ride to the poll, make sure we give Mississippi Move or Michael Jordan Transportation a call. That Patty Patton said Bible. Okay, that's it. So, so there again, ladies and gentlemen, so if you live in Ward 2, and let me catch this call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment?
Good evening, Brother Stamp.
Hey, what's happening?
Look here, watching some of that money, the revenue that's been generated from the lot casinos be used to purchase computers and things for the students?
Yeah, so I got with Senator Horn today, and we're gonna research state agencies and state resources as well, and we're gonna bring an answer to that. You know, there's several pots of money the state has, and we're looking for underutilized or resources that haven't been tapped into to shore that gap up as well. So we're doing a little research on that to see how we can close the gap. We just found out about this. And so our first step was to get some community organizations together to try to tackle this issue. But now we're trying to look for legal resources that haven't been tapped into to help solve this problem as well.
Okay, about those trades that's offered down in Utica Junior College, Utica, Mississippi, do you know what all trades are still being offered there?
Yeah, we're gonna have that sister on the show. We couldn't get it connected today because we wanted to get this working together, Jackson piece together. But we're gonna have them on the show to give a full rundown of all the trades that are offered. You can go right to the Utica Junior College website and take a look at all those trades that are offered there as well.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right. Send the next one in, Andy. Let's see if we can get this working here. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Hello, caller. You're live on air. What's your question or comment?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. I just got a couple questions for you real fast.
All right.
What's all going to be on the ballot for November 3rd? I know it's going to be of course, the presidential race, and the I guess the Senate House Smith. What other names are going to be on there?
Oh, it's going to be a whole host of names. Let me see if I can pull up a sample ballot. But you got your president race, you have your U.S. Senate races, then you also have your U.S. House of Representative races, depending on where you live, and then you also have your on the Mississippi level, you got your Supreme Court. You have the ballot initiatives that'll be on the ballot, whether it be the medical marijuana initiative and the one about the flag. And what I feel the most important one on the ballot is the initiative to remove Mississippi's, basically it's an electoral college system that requires people running for governor or statewide office to also win the majority of the House seats. It's not talked about a lot, but it's going to be the issue over the next 2 weeks that we're going to talk about the most, because we feel that issue alone is basically Mississippi's electoral college, and we have to abolish that process. You wonder why you don't have any Black or Democrat statewide elected officials. This one hurdle is a rough hurdle to cross. If the districts are all gerrymandered, it's a long way to go to even get a governor elected or a lieutenant governor or a auditor, attorney general, and all that. So to me, I believe that's one of the biggest things that we can get done to move us forward. Because I don't want a handout. Just me as an elected official, I don't want a handout. I just want an even playing field. And let me compete. Let the people vote and let me compete, and we can go forward.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. I understand that, Mr. Stamps. And I also think that's important for people to know, because a lot of people going to vote, and all they know is just, initially, the medical marijuana and, the presidential vote and stuff like that. A lot of other people don't even know. They just, walking in there blind, just picking names, you know what I'm saying? Don't even know what's really on the ballot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why we.
I appreciate you, Mr. Stamp.
No problem, brother.
All right, man. God
bless you. So, ladies and gentlemen, make a plan to vote. Make a plan to vote. Let me catch this call. This call from Crystal Springs, Mississippi. I know a few folks down there. Who is this?
Well, we're looking here for my name is George. That's called Florence.
Okay. I just saw it said Crystal Springs number. How you doing?
Yeah, I just called it. Congratulations. And that commercial, what is that man on the mission thing?
Yes, sir.
Man, it was going through my head constantly. You know, that was a winner there, because you know that song there, I was just singing it constantly through my head. Man on the mission, man, that was a good move there, bro. So you know, I congratulate you, and man, hey, look at you go down there and hell of all that confusion now. And I wish you luck. God bless you.
God bless you too, brother. You know, I don't profess myself to be the smartest person in the room or even the sharpest, but I got some good folks around me. Good brother Vic Allen. He said, man, you know, you every day he talks to me about different things. He said, man, you focus. I said, you daggone right on focus. I'm on a mission. And so he ran across that song and he said, man, this is the song that really epitomizes where you are. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment?
Yes, I was just congratulating Keeper Stamps for getting the office this year.
Oh, brother, thank you very much. What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. My name is T. Jackson.
All right, brother T. Jackson, we appreciate you. Keep us in your prayers, brother. We're going down to the big house, so keep us in your prayers.
Always.
All right, brother. Take care. God bless.
You too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes left to go on the show. If you want to call in number 601-948-5950. You can call in with your questions or comments. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment?
Yeah, Mr. Stamps, what are we going to do about these businesses leaving Jackson? I've heard that Target wants to leave Jackson.
Yeah, brother, what we got to do is focus on our own economy. How do you make money and build ourselves? I know we want to chase big box stores, but we got to figure out how to get a business with 2 employees to 10. You know, we got to figure out how to do that and spend our money with ourselves. So that's the first step we got to do. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Turn your radio down, caller. Turn your radio down, caller. Yep, that's you, brother. So how you doing?
All right. You wanted somebody to call you from Crystal Springs? You got one. Congratulations, brother.
Hey, I appreciate you and I love you. Appreciate you.
And I also know Miss Stamps. I know your entire family on this end.
Well, I sure appreciate you. Keep us all in your prayers. My mama's on the ballot too down in Copiah County for the school board for District 5.
Okay, well, congratulations again. My name is Dennis Johnson. I've always been a big supporter and a big fan of yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson.
And I know you're gonna do well, man.
We're gonna keep pushing.
Oh yes, sir. Congratulations again and good night.
Good night. All right, we got one more handy. All right, call in. We got another 3 minutes to go on the show. If y'all want to call in. All right, we got one more. Hello, caller. How you doing?
Yes, Brother Stamps, you hit on something that was very pertinent a few minutes ago. Is teaching people how to vote and what to vote for.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something that you may want to elevate on in the next couple of weeks, is to instruct people, because some people, like you said, just pick out names. But when they instructed about how informed they could be about the purpose of the vote, the purpose of voting for this particular person,
Mm-hmm.
education, each one teach one, inform them with your show, maybe, 10, 15 minutes. I think that could be a help in that process.
Well, anytime you want to come on, call in, you always welcome. And next week, we're going to have a whole show about that. We also got a show on Tuesday nights right here at 90.1. It's called Civics 101. It's hosted by Mr. Burrell. And we talk about contracts, the Constitution, and civics. So we appreciate y'all.
All right.
All right, brother. Mm-hmm. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the clock on the wall says, I got to go. Sister says how to vote and what to vote for. You are definitely right. We definitely have to make a plan. Make sure you get you a piece of scratch paper, get you a sample ballot. So when you go in there, it's not intimidating for you. I say if you qualify to vote early, because me personally, I had to vote early. I couldn't take the anxiety no more. All the commercials, the text messages, the emails, I'm done. When they send me a text message now, I text them back, say I have voted. Text somebody else. So I appreciate y'all. And as we end every show, we always say, never let anybody put you in a position where you don't love your own people. Because when you hate your own people, You're part of the very oppression we're trying to lift ourselves out of. I love you, Jackson. I love you, Mississippi. Handyman, get us out of here. I love y'all. A big old much. Ain't a daggone thing you can do about it. Take care. See y'all next week.